Yes, people. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about in this game. This is, of course, player ratings video, so we'll discuss each bit, and then at the end we'll discuss team. Yeah. Just before I get into it, you guys who have been here a while know I'm not a reactionary channel. I don't react. You know, I watch, I analyze. That's how I do it. That's the perspective. Again, that word perspective. I like to do something a little different perspective. So if you're here for shouting man at screen or just criticize everyone, that's not the channel for you. So bye-bye. But there is some big mistakes in this game that need to be talked about and addressed, and they will be, best believe, because accountability is also very important. So yeah, just so you know that. But let's get into it. You know what, people? We're going to start from the attacks this time, because the thing I want to talk about in most depth is at the end, and it's part of another section to do with the team. So we'll get into that. But first, I want to talk about, this video. I don't want to circle this video out. This is a performance rating video. So how do we perform? Joe Perreault, Brent Aronson, the attackers, 10 and the attacker. Now, again, this is down to people overreacting when a player starts is my biggest pet peeve. I can't stand it. Look, people want to throw the game in the bin because a player starts. It's actually crazy. Like, watch the game, then react. I know we have problems with Joe Perreault at times. I know he's not this, he's not that, he's not this. But the guy scores goals and the guy can play a certain role on the side. It might not be ideal for the side. It might not look great. But if he's in there to do a job and he does his job, what's to complain about? So just watch first before everyone loses their mind before kickoff. It's never. This is why I don't like doing shows or anything on match days, because I don't care about lineups. Really, I'll be honest with you. I just want the players on the pitch to do the job. And then after the game, we can talk about if the players on the pitch did the job. Joe Perreault, again, look, I gave him a 6.5 because it's what I expected from him. I think he did some decent things. He made some decent runs, actually. He worked very hard. But sometimes his touch are off. Sometimes he looks a little slow. But what did he do? He got between the defenders in the box and scored a goal. And that's what he's good at. And that's what he did. And that's what he's in the team to do. Daniel Farke, I think, knew that the way Sunderland played would favour the block at times. And for me, and I've said this twice already in previous videos, I think right now in the situation we're in, when a team is very quick in transition to the point where you probably can't counter them that often because of that, for me, Joe Perreault is a better player for a team in a low block because intricate movement's better. Joseph's better with space and where he can stretch teams, whereas in a tight space, I think Joe Perreault is slightly better at this point in his career. So I guess it made a bit of sense. And he scored a goal and he did what he needed to do. Brendan Aronson. Yeah, look, I think Brendan's been brilliant this year. I don't think he was bad by any means. This is the thing about this performance, people. I'll talk about this at the end. This is the end bit I'm going to talk about. It's really encouraging for me. Some obvious mistakes. I think it's really encouraging as a team performance. An 11 on the pitch. I thought it was very encouraging. Brendan Aronson for me wasn't his best game. I think it was a little sloppy. I think decision making was off, hesitant. I do think got bullied a little bit by Joby Bellingham. Job, whichever one it is. So, yeah, sometimes you have that. He didn't give up, he didn't hide, which is what I need, a reaction from a player. That's the key part. If that is happening, how do you react? Don't bother him, get on with it. If I get bullied, I get bullied. That's part of it. That's part of learning, that's part of growing. So, but his execution on the ball wasn't great. He worked hard, he worked his backside off as usual, and he did the things he does do, but just the execution of things, I think he gave it away too much, and yeah, he did get bullied at times. Didn't let it bother him, but he did. So I give him a 6 this time. The wingers, the forwards. Yeah, I know Ramazan is an interesting player for me because there is so much there. And look, I told you people, I've been a winger for 20 years. I've done a lot of work with wingers. A lot of work. More than any other position on the pitch when I was at uni. Wingers. Wingers would message me all the time and say, help, I need some clips. Help me show this. What do I need to do here? We did a lot of work with wingers. We played a lot with our wingers in the style we played. I need him to be more direct 1v1. So everything else I'm seeing is brilliant. You know, the way he drifts into space, his 1-2s, his movement off the ball, his finishing at times. It wasn't great in the game, though. 3 went over the bar, so that's why it's down a little bit. So everything from that standpoint is class. I just need him to be a bit more direct 1v1. He gets in 1v, like Willie's doing now. He gets in 1v1 situations, and I feel like he doesn't commit himself enough. I don't know, his confidence, not sure what it is, because he can do that. He's quicker than them. He's better at 1v1 than them. He did it once or twice near the end of the game, and he got success from it. I think we won some corners. I need him to do that more. I do. Because everything else about his game is brilliant. Just then what people compare him to Somerville, I don't think they are comparable as a player in terms of the style they play. Somerville was ultra direct, arguably too direct. For some, not for me. Ramazani needs to be more direct on the ball. Off the ball, he's very direct. I mean, he's more direct on it. Because again, I think he's got that in the locker. You know, so that's my only criticism of Ramazani as a winger. Nonto on the other hand, I thought, look, Ramzan was good, by the way. I like him. And it's going to be extremely tough, if not possible, for Sullivan to get back in that squad if he is fit. I think Ramazani's done more than enough to stable that point in the team now. I do. So Wilfred Nonto, on the other hand, I thought was absolutely brilliant. He is now the player I wanted to see last year. This is the guy. This is the player. He's playing with that real energy now, that real desire, that maturity as well. Getting up, getting on with it. Not letting one decision affect the next 10 minutes of his game. One decision affects 10 seconds of his game and he's getting on with it. I love that. And this is what I mean when you're critical of players. You know, some players just love players and some players hate others. I could be critical of any. Like, doesn't mean I hate any of them. I don't. The human beings, I don't hate them. They're not doing anything wrong to me personally. I might not like them in terms of ideal styles for a team or even some personalities, you know, but none at Leeds, by the way. I like all Leeds personalities. They're all nice lads, it seems. So, but Wilfred Nonto is the man right now. He's driving, he's been aggressive defensively, he's working hard, he's winning the ball back when he loses it. He's not giving any of their defenders a rest for a second, for a single second. I thought it was excellent. That cross was unbelievable. His decision making is getting better. He looks like a player who wants to get out of this league as quick as possible. And he's playing like it now. He's not just saying he wants to get out of this league. He's not acting like he wants to get out of this league. He's doing it. And we need this guy. We need this guy. He was excellent. 8. Midfielders, Joe Rothwell and Tanaka. Again, I thought they were brilliant. I think as a midfield 2 against a team in Sunderland who have a lot of movements. I do think the reason I can't give them 8s, there's 1 or 2 times where either them or Aronson lost their marker near the edge of the box. The goal as well. Defensively, and I said this when I did the thing, they're not ideal defensive players. They can do a job. They're quick to get any loose ball. You know, if a guy's got a bad touch, they will be there on it. They'll be aggressive. They're aggressive. But they're not defenders. They're not ideal defensive players. As Farke said in his press conference, they're not. It's not their game. So from that perspective, it is a bit of a worry. We won't be as solid in front of that defence. There will be gaps at times, and that's, keep saying it, there's players out there who can fill that for the short time being. I'll be an option in there if that's needed. Because again, I'm looking at the game last night and going, they are finding spaces. This is where you need an option on the bench. This is the key part of it. It's not a long-term fix. We need an option though. On the ball, going forward, in possession, they were brilliant. Joe Rothwell, movement is quick. Decision-making is so quick from Joe Rothwell. He makes that decision and he goes with it. He trusts his decision. And because of the way they play, so much more forward direct passes between the lines into Nonto, into Aronson. Finally. But yeah, as a partnership going forward, I love it in possession, love it defensively, don't love it. We need more options for me in there. But those two on the ball, top. The fullbacks, contrasting fullbacks, to be fair. Again, last game I thought I didn't do a player ratings. Did I? I don't think I did, just because of time. I can't remember. But I thought Jaden Bogle was brilliant last game. I thought he was our best player. And I thought it was good this game. A very tough test. A decent winger. One that's been said by the Sunderland fans, who is as good as Jack Clark. Didn't have a lot of joy. He got a few crosses in, but did he beat Jayden Bogle? 1v1? I don't think so. Got crosses in, but he didn't beat him. He might have gone down the line and got a cross in. I don't think he beat him. Tough test. He passed it. He was aggressive. Showed some good moments going forward. I give him a 7. Firpo, on the other hand, did get cut inside 1 or 2 times. That's the only real reason he's not on that 7s. Again, great finish and great movement in the final third. But again, we know this is him. This is what he does. He's done every game. That's another goal for the fullback. Assists and goals. He's getting them. He's still been probably our best player for me this season, or up there. But defensively as well, in those deeper positions, he did get beat inside 1 or 2 times a little too easily for me. But going forward is excellent. But on the balance of things, I get a 6.5. Now, Centrebacks. I feel for him. I do feel for him. Thought they battled the backsides off. I was loving it, the energy, and there's every block, every clearance. Joe Rodon was on it. He was in the game last night. He looked emotional. He looked like he wanted this. And this is why the mistake at the end is an absolute killer for them two, especially. I know it is. I know it is. For all that defence, it must have been horrible. But yeah, I give them both a 7. I think Joe Rodon had a few moments where we kind of went, oop. But he also had a few moments where you just, yeah, that's a warrior there. Pascal was very similar as well. A few moments where you went, oh. A few moments where they were absolutely solid. Anything in that box they dealt with. Because again, the movement from Sunderland in the box is so good. They dealt with most of it. Blocked it, cleared it, tracked their man, didn't get beat. You know? Respect to them too. But absolutely good. The keeper. Right. The goalkeeper, the GK, Ilan Meslier. Let's get into it. What I will say before I come on to the mistake, it is a big mistake. Actually, I was texting a friend. I was going, he's actually playing quite well here. You know, anything that comes into the box, he's dealing with. He caught 2 or 3 in difficult positions. You know, in a swarm of bodies, he caught them. Yeah, and then he makes a mistake. And again, this is a performance review on a 90-minute performance. If it was on the mistake alone, he'd be on a 0. But he did do things in the game before that I liked. And like I said, this is what I use for my job. Yeah, I can't react and put a 0 because he made a mistake. You've got to look at the whole performance. And I do give 3 because it's a huge mistake and it costs you the game, and it's a moment where you have to do better, significantly better. I don't know what's happened. I'm not going to speculate in any way, shape or form whether there was a divot, whether he just misjudged it. For me, look, one of my best mates is a goalkeeper. One of my good friends is a goalkeeper. He has to come out before it bounces. Just claim it in the air. He lets it bounce. And he said the problem was when he let it bounce, the bounce was so close to him that if it does hit a divot, you can't react. Whereas if you're a step back, if it does hit that divot, you can react to the direction it goes. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of too close to let it bounce and catch it, but then too far away to catch it without bouncing. He said that was the indecision there. That was his problem. That was the mistake he made. Letting it bounce to the point where he was too close to it, so if it did change direction, if it did hit a divot, you can't react. It's already gone past him. If he's a step back, you can analyse the ball in front of you and you can react either side. Right? That was the problem. For me, he said he should just caught it. He takes 2 or 3 steps back when the ball's in the air. He has to come out and claim that. He said, that's what I'll go with. It's a big mistake. It's cost your team that defended really well for me. Resolute, strong, against a tough team at the top of the league, who, by the way, I believe have not conceded a goal at home this season. So it's a tough one to take. It's not good enough from the goalkeeper. It's something that, like I said, talking to my friend, Parker said he's not seen out like it. I have seen many things like it. I've seen friends of mine, goalkeepers, throw the ball into the back of the net, you know, when they go for an overhand and they kind of extend it and it just goes back and it's gone in. I've seen that happen twice. I've seen the same person try to kick a ball and it's bounced over the foot and it's gone out into the goal. I've seen it. Seen it many times. And what do I do? How do I react? I do what Firpo does. I'll get away from the situation before I say something stupid. Because in the moment of it, I'm absolutely fuming. You know what hurts even more as well about the situation? It's the fact that it was the last kick. And the team just couldn't react to it. There's like, well, we can't do it now. If you'd have done it in the 60th minute, you're kind of going, right, we've got 30 or 35 minutes to do something about it. But it's the last kick of the game. I was literally sat there like this, and I had my phone. I'm going, texting people, going, we've done it, great win. And I look up and I go, oh, no. Genuinely, right, my eyes didn't. I didn't think it was real. I went, that happened, does it? Is he offside? What's going on there? What? Foul? I couldn't compute what was going on. And I was, in the moment, very, very angry. Very angry. Frustrated and annoyed. Did I tweet abuse to the player, though, because of that? No, I didn't, because, you know what, I've grown up as a person, and, you know, sometimes not everything you think in your brain has to be tweeted on a page. Talk to your friends, message your friends in private. Talk to people you live with. Get your anger out in front of yourself, to yourself, in front of the mirror. Or just here, sat down. You know, there's so many things you can do to get your raw anger out as opposed to tweeting abuse at a player. Because you can criticise a player more than you want. You have the full right to criticise anything you want. But it's people's first instinct that pisses me off, I'll be honest with you. Why is the first instinct of a person who's really angry, I'm going to tweet this? Where's the accountability of humans? Where's it gone? Where's the responsibility? You know what I mean? I was as angry as everyone tweeting, trust me. I messaged my mates. I got my anger out there. I stood up here and walked around, and I actually brought my toothbrush because it was there. I got annoyed. I didn't go, right, I'm going to tweet about this. No point. I'm an adult, grown up. Watch it. Genuinely, I don't think kids do that. But take accountability for your own actions. Like I said, if you're on this video to abuse or anything, get lost. I don't care about you. You can be critical. You don't have to rate the player. You don't have to rate the goalkeeper. That's absolutely fine. And that's your opinion. Like I said, but it's the and I mean abuse. I'm not talking about this guy's crap. I'm talking about this guy's a something. This guy's a that. You know, when you get personal, when you describe a player personally and get to their personal side of it, your point is completely invalid, and you are not a supporter. You're not side before self at that point, or whatever. People want to use that whenever they want. But criticise the player. He made a huge mistake. It cost us 3 points. Didn't mean to do it. It's a mistake. I don't even think it's a judgment to the ability of a goalkeeper. Like I said, I've seen Neuer do that. And he's one of the best keepers of all time, and he made a mistake. Eli Mesley isn't one of the best keepers of all time. He makes the mistake. It's not a judgment to his position. It's not a judgment to him getting beat at the near post too easily. It's a wild mistake. And it happened to us in the last kick of the game, basically. What would have been an unbelievable win, an unbelievable performance. He's got to take that. He's got to accept it. You don't have to accept abuse, though. That's the difference. People going, we're criticising by calling him personally calling him a something. That's not criticising. That's abuse. Criticising is the goalkeeper should have done better. It's a terrible mistake. Daddy dies. Cost the team 3 points. That's criticising. Going at him, calling him a something. That's abuse. Responsibility on yourself. That's not on the keeper. That's on you then. Idiots. But yeah, he messed up badly. Cost the team. Cost the team badly. He'll know that. Everyone will know that. And I just want to, again, this is why I'm not a reaction channel. I take time. I like to speak to people first before I do these and get my anger out. The people saying he's laughing about it. When you make a mistake, and again, I just spoke to my mate, when you make a mistake that bad, you don't know what's going on. You're laughing because you don't understand what's happening. You're like, oh, you're delusional. You're in a state of shock. You're like, well, what's going on here? I don't get it. It just bounce funny. Like, as soon as you sit down and you see your teammates around you and you see their faces, that's when you go, oh no, what's happened here? When it's happened in the moment and everyone's laughing at you, how do you face it? How do you face yourself when, you know, you react in a certain way? That's how people react. People analyse. People try and overanalyze and critique an entire person's personality based on a single reaction to a moment that they've never been in their life and never will. So, yeah. So I'm not taking out into that because, again, my mate makes them mistakes. He laughs because he can't believe it. He doesn't know what's happened. And then when you get when you get home or when you get back to the changing room and you're with everyone and you're looking at everyone's faces and it sinks in, you suddenly go, oh no, what have I done? You know, whether it took a divot or not, the fact is the decision you made was wrong and that ended in a goal. And you don't know how to react to that because it's so rare and it's ununique. It's unique. So that's what I will say on that. But this leads into it to me, and this is quite contradictory, but I agree with what Farker said in the sense that this showed me a lot about this team, did this performance. It did. I'm seeing people get annoyed that we sat back. I thought it was the right thing to do. I don't think they looked anywhere near as much dangerous when we were in deep positions. They got crosses in, but everything again, like I keep saying, was dealt with and dealt with and dealt with. They got corners dealt with. When it was more transitional, that's when the spaces, that's where their overloads came out wide. Because we were not getting them back in position. There was space for them to move. When we sat deep, didn't have that. And they were relying on, is it Mundell 1v1 to get a cross in. You know, Bellingham's space became minimalised and he didn't have much to do. They were trying to pass it across. We looked good. We looked compact. We looked like a real team. We were fighting for each other. We showed personality in that game. Because the way they started, that could have been bad. But we showed real personality. We reacted to coming down. We reacted from a team that is absolutely buzzing, that's hardly lost this year, that's dominated and battered teams. We went down early and we reacted to that. We reacted to it really well. And that showed. I've questioned, what are these guys? Not seen these guys really dig deep when it's needed. Like, really dig deep. Not when it's going well, when it's going bad. And they did. A tough place to go. A team that don't concede goals at home. A team that is top of the league, that has battered teams this year. You go down early, they're all over you. And we reacted to it. And we didn't let it bother us. We played our game. We showed mentality. We showed personality. And but for a bad mistake at the end, that performance was absolutely brilliant. I do think that. I don't think there was individuals where I'm looking going, they stood out massively, apart from maybe Nonto or Rothwell. But as a team, a collective, I thought we were brilliant. We dug deep with all the injuries. You know, thin squad. Fact said, look behind him, there's no wingers. What can I do? We dug deep. And that's the gutting part of it. That's why, if we'd have played bad and that had have happened, it'd kind of been like, oh, whatever, like, fine. Like, oh, that is terrible, but we didn't deserve it. But we did. We did deserve it. But that's genuinely, that's given me confidence. Taking time to step back, analyze it, rewatching, that's given me confidence. Because I just thought there was something, there was an edge about us. Even when it was tough. It took me back to the game under Bielsa when we played West Brom at home, and I was right there. And I think we went 1-0 up. And for literally 70 minutes, we couldn't get out. We could not get out. What we showed defensively was resolute. We were so resolute. We had so much personality. We got rid of everything. We dealt with everything. We won that game. West Brom were battering us. And they weren't battering us, by the way. I'm just saying it showed personality. It's an example, right? Even the Barnsley game, that tough situation, showed personality in that game. And we did for me. However, the biggest test now is this. After that, how does that affect the squad? Because it can't. It cannot. You have to get over it. Get on with it. It's done. Now's the test. And now you've got an international break and then you've got Sheffield United, who haven't lost yet. The next huge test. But yeah. Many things to talk about in this game, like I said, but let me know what you guys think. And look, if anyone's in the comments, and look, if you don't, I get it. But if you've been abusive, if you're calling him or something, if you don't rate him, let me know. It's fine. That's on you. I'm not bothered by that. But just don't be an ass. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye bye.